Oh, hello guys. Yeah, this is me in real life. But I'm gonna be reading aloud a series of unfortunate events. The end. Yeah, this paper is. I'm gonna read you at least one chapter. I got it from my library. So here's like all the books. For Beatrice, I cherished, perished. The world, the world's been nightmarish. The end. Here's a picture of Count Olaf changing Carmelita's poster thingy here. And there's the three Baudelaire orphans. Chapter 1. If you have ever peeled an onion, then you know that the first thin, papery layer reveals another thin, papery layer, and that layer reveals another and another. Before you know it, you have hundreds of layers over the kitchen table and thousands of tears in your eyes. Sorry that you ever started peeling in the first place, and wishing that you left the onion alone to wither away on the shelf of the pantry while never went on with your life. Even if that meant never again enjoying a complicated and overwhelming taste of the strange bitter vegetable. In this way, the story of the Baudelaire orphans, it's like an onion. And if you insist on reading each and every thin, papery layer in the series of unfortunate events, your only reward will be 170 chapters of misery in your library. Countless tears in your eyes. Even if you have read the first 12 volumes of the Baudelaire story, it is not too late to stop peeling away the layers and to put this book back on the shelf and wither away while you read something less complicated and overwhelming. The end of this unhappy chronicle is it's bad beginning, as each misfortune only reveals another and another and another, and only those with the stomach for a strange, bitter tale should penetrate any farther into the Baudelaire onion. I'm sorry to tell you this, but that's how the story goes. The Baudelaire orphans have been happy to see an onion. Had one bobbing along as they traveled across the vast and empty sea in a boat the size of a large bed, but not nearly as comfortable. Had much vegetables appeared by it, the eldest Baudelaire would have tied up her hair in a ribbon to keep it out of her eyes, and in moments would have invested a device to retrieve the onion from the water. Klaus, the middle sibling and the only boy, would have remembered useful facts from one of the thought sands of the books he had read, and been able to identify which type of onion it was, and whenever or not it was edible. Sonny, who was scarcely out of babyhood, would have sliced the onion into bite-sized pieces with her usually sharp teeth, and put her newly developed cook using skills to good use in order to turn a simple onion into something quite ugh. Where was it? But nearly developed cooking skills to good use in order to turn into a simple onion into something quite tasty indeed. The elder Baudelaire could imagine their sister announcing "Soubise," which is was her way of saying dinner is served. But the three children had not seen any onion. Indeed, they have not seen much of anything during their ocean voyage, which had begun when the Baudelaires had pushed a large wooden boat off the roof of the Hotel Denouement in order to escape from the fire engulfing the hotel, as well as the authorities who want to arrest the children for arson and murdering. The wind and tides had quickly pushed the boat away from the burning hotel and Sunset the hotel and all the other buildings in the city were distant, far away, blurred. Now, the following morning, the only things the Baudelaires had seen were the quiet, still surface on the sea and the gray blue of the sky. The weather reminded them of the day at Briny Beach when their Baudelaires had learned their loss of their parents and their home in a terrible fire. And the children spent too much of their time in silence thinking about that dreadful day and all of the dreadful days that had followed. It almost would have been peaceful to sit in a drifting boat and think about their lives, but had it not been for the Baudelaire's unpleasant companion. The companion's name was Count Olaf, and it had been the Baudelaire's orphan's misfortune to be in this dreadful man's company since they had become orphans, and he had become their guardian. Olaf hatched scheme after scheme in attempt to get his filthy hands on the enormous fortune that the Baudelaire parents had left behind. And although each scheme had failed, it appearance as if someone of the villain's wickedness had rubbed off on the children. And now Olaf and the Baudelaires were in the same boat. Both of the children and Count were responsible for a number of treacherous crimes. Although at least the Baudelaire orphans had a sense to feel terrible about this, were all Count Olaf had been doing for the past few days has been bragging about it. "I've trumped," Count Olaf retreated, a word which means announced for the umpteenth time. He stood proudly at the front of the boat, leaning against the carving of an octopus attacking a man in a diving suit that served as the boat figurehead. "You orphans thought you could escape me, but at last you are my clutches." "Yes, Olaf," Violet agreed wearily, the eldest. Baudelaire did not bother to point out that there was as they were all alone in the middle of the ocean. It was just inaccurate to say that Olaf were and Baudelaire was in the Baudelaire's clutches, as it was to say that they were in his sighting. Okay, so I will stop here, and I will read another 5 pages for the next chapter tomorrow. Yeah, goodbye. I'll try to remember it's number 6.